Okay, welcome to all. This is Annamalai, Assistant Professor from Department of Mechanical Engineering, IFET College of Engineering. So in this session, we are going to discuss about the quick return mechanism. Okay, in this session, we are going to see about the quick return mechanism. So quick return mechanism is mostly used in um, sl- uh, slotting machines and shaper machines. So normally it is used in machine tools. Okay, wherever the cutting action has to be um, used, there are quick return mechanisms are used. So there are two types of quick return mechanisms are normally used. One is crank and slotted lever quick return mechanism, then Whitworth quick return motion mechanism. So these two mechanisms are the inversion mechanism of single slider crank mechanism. So we know what is mechanism and what is machine. Okay. So the mechanism is something which is used to transform the motion. Okay. For any mechanism which is used to do a particular work, then it will become a machine. Okay. A kinematic chain. Kinematic chain, which is consists of many kinematic pairs. Okay. So if any one of the kinematic chain is fixed, that will become a mechanism. So this is a block diagram of a crank and slotted lever quick return motion mechanism. So here we have four links. Okay, the slider is the first link, and which makes a sliding pair with the slotted lever. Okay, then the crank is the second link, which makes a turning pair. Then we have slotted lever, which is also a turning pair, which is pivoted with the fixed point. Okay, and this is the fixed link. There is link number 3, and the slotted lever is connected with the cutting tool by means of the connecting rod. And in the left hand side we have the block diagram of a shaper machine. And this is the animation of a uh, uh, quick return motion mechanism. So here the blue color one is the crank. Okay, the crank which is connected with the slotted lever with the help of the crank pin. So crank means it can rotate about 360 degree, and one end of the slotted lever is pivoted at the bottom point, and the another end is connected with the connecting rod, and the connecting rod is connected to the ram. Okay, so the input motion given to this mechanism is the rotary motion, and the rotary motion is converted into reciprocating motion. So if you compare the return stroke with the forward stroke, okay, the return stroke has minimum time. Okay, so that is a speciality of this mechanism, because in machine tool operations we normally desire for less manufacturing time. Okay, in the forward stroke the tool has to remove the material from the workpiece, but in the return stroke there is no work to be done. So if we reduce the cutting time, the return stroke time, then we can increase the production rate. Okay, so that is the idea behind this mechanism. So here you can see the line diagram of a crank and slotted lever quick return mechanism. So here this one is the line AC. So the line AC represents the link 3. Okay. For example, if you take any kinematic chain and consider kinematic chain. So this is a kinematic chain. This chain having 4 links. Link number 1, link number 2, 3, and 4. So if we fix any one link, okay, that will become a mechanism, and all the 3 other links, okay, which will have a relative motion with each other. Okay, so this forms a mechanism. For example, if all the links are fixed, that will become a structure, okay, which is used to transmit the forces. Okay, so this crank and slotted lever mechanism is the inversion of single slider crank mechanism. Okay, so inversion means, so if one link one is fixed, then it will be a one mechanism, and link number 4 is fixed, then it is another mechanism. Okay, and link number 3 is fixed means then it will become another mechanism. So like that, the crank and slotted lever mechanism is formed by fixing a different link in the single slider crank mechanism. Okay, So here we have the four links. Okay, the link number one is the slider. Okay, the slider is fitted inside the slotted lever. Okay, by means of a crank pin. So this one is the crank pin. Okay, and the link number two is the crank. So crank is one which can rotate about 360 degree. Okay, and the link number three is the fixed. Okay, for any mechanism, okay, there must be a one fixed link. Okay, so links will have a relative motion. Okay, and link number four is the slotted lever or the slotted bar. Okay, which have a central slot. Okay, so inside the central slot only the crank pin is fixed. Okay, and this is the slotted bar AP. AP is the slotted bar, and here we have the connecting rod, which is used to connect the slotted bar with the cutting tool or the ram. Okay, the point P or represents the connecting rod. Okay, and the CB. So this one is the CB is the radius of the CB is the radius of this circle. Okay, or CB is the crank length. Okay, and CB1 and CB2 are the positions of the crank. Okay, and in the extreme positions, okay, in the extreme positions, that is AP1 and AP2. Okay, AP1 and AP2 are tangent to this particular circle. Here you can see it forms a tangent with the circle. Okay, the circle formed by the rotation of the crank. The crank is rotating about a uniform angular velocity. Okay, and the forward and cutting stroke occurs when the crank rotates from the position CB1 to CB2. So here let us see. So when the crank is moving from this position CB1 position to CB2 position. Okay, so at this the forward stroke is happening. That means the ram is moving from the R1 position R1 to R2. So this is the cutting stroke, or we can call it as a forward stroke. Okay, when the crank moving from the position CB2 CB2, CB1, then the return stroke is happening. Okay, so the beta represents the angle between the position CB1 to CB2. That is the cutting stroke. Okay, the time taken for moving the crank from CB1 position to CB2 position is equal to the ram moving from the R1 position to R2. So the time taken for these two operations is equal. Okay, that forms the angle beta. That forms the angle beta. And the crank moving from the position CB to CB1. Okay, so CB to CB1, the time taken for the crank moving from CB to CB1 is equal to the ram moving from the position R2 to R1. So R2 to R1. So these two timings are equal. Okay, so that is how a full stroke is happening. Okay, for a 360 degree, the 360 degree rotation of the crank makes one forward stroke and one cutting stroke. So during the forward stroke, the material is removed, and during the cutting stroke, no material is to be removed, and the time taken for the cutting stroke is high, and the time taken for the return stroke is low. So that is why this mechanism is called as a quick return mechanism. And in this mechanism, the link AC. So I already told you the link AC. AC is the fixed one, and it is forming a turning pair. And link 3. So this is the link 3. This is a fixed one. Okay. And this link 3 is acting as a connecting rod of a reciprocating steam engine. Okay. This is similar to the connecting rod of this reciprocating engine. And the driving crank CB. So this is the crank. Okay. Link number 2. This driving crank CB revolves with the uniform angular speed about the center point C. So that the revolution is the revolution is pointed here as a dotted line. Okay, so this makes a 360 degree rotation about the point C. And a sliding block. So this is the sliding block. So this sliding block is attached to the crank pin at point B. Okay, which makes a sliding pair with the slotted lever. Okay, and this is the AP is the this component is called as the slotted lever. Okay, a short link PR. So this is the short link PR, which is nothing but a connecting rod, okay, which connects the two components called the slotted lever and the RAM, okay. And the R1 or R2 is nothing but the extreme positions, okay, extreme points of the RAM travel. Okay, R1 is the left extreme position and R2 is the right extreme position. Okay, the tool will move from R1 position to R2 in case of forward stroke or cutting stroke, and it will move from R2 to R1 in case of return stroke. Okay, as I have already told you, the time taken for the both the strokes is different. Okay, and in the extreme positions, I have already told you, in the extreme position, this AP1, AP2, which forms a tangent. Okay, so during the forward and or connection, CB1 to CB2, which makes the angle beta. So beta means it is the angle formed during the cutting stroke. Okay, so similarly, when the crank moves from CB2, that is this position, CB2, there is CB2 to CB1. Okay, this forms an angle alpha. Okay, so this alpha angle is represents the return stroke angle. Okay, so when this return stroke is happening, or the crank moves from CB to CB1, then moves from R2 to R1 position. Okay, this is the return stroke. Okay, so the time taken for the time of return stroke divided by the time of cutting stroke divided by the time of return stroke is represented as beta divided by alpha. Okay, so beta divided by alpha can be written as 360 degree minus 360 degree minus beta. Okay, because it is a full revolution, full circle. Okay, so this angle, so this is a totally 360 degree. Okay, if this angle makes beta means, then alpha is equal to 360 degree minus beta. Okay, we can call it as 360 degree minus alpha divided by alpha to time taken of return stroke. Since the tool travels a distance r1, the travel of tool or length of stroke. Okay, if we want to calculate the length of strokes, that means r1 to r2 or the travel of tool. Okay, anyway, the tool has to move from r1 to r1 to r2. Okay, so this will be calculated by the below expression. Okay, so the length of stroke is equal to r1 to r2, so left extreme position to right position, okay, is equal to p1 to p2, because look at here, the r1 r2 is parallel to the P1 and P2. Okay, so these two length are equal. Okay, so R1 is equal, R1 R2 equal to P1 P2, and you can see this line. The line AC is always perpendicular to the stroke length R1 R2. Okay, so this can be written as 2P1Q. Okay, because the P1 P2 is the straight line and Q is the median. Okay, so this is this q bisects the line p1 p2. Okay, so p1q is equal to qp2, so we can write it as a 2p1q is equal to 2ap1 sine angle p1aq. So look at here, so 2ap1, so this can be written as 2ap1, this is the ap1, 2 into ap1 into sine angle P1AQ. So this is the angle P1AQ. P1AQ. So this is the angle P1AQ. Wait. P1AQ means this is the angle. Okay, so we know that the angle is, this is the angle alpha. So this angle will be, this is the 90 degree. So this angle will be 90 degree minus alpha by 2. Okay, because the alpha angle is bisects here. So this, if it is 90 degree means, then this would be 90 degree minus alpha by 2. So we know that sine 90 minus theta will be cos theta. Okay, here theta is equal to alpha divided by 2. So 2AP cos alpha divided by 2. So this alpha divided by 2. Okay, the cos alpha cos theta can be written as CB1, written as CB1 divided by AC, which means cos theta is equal to adjacent side divided by adjacent divided by hypotenuse. Okay, adjacent divided by hypotenuse. So CB1 divided by AC. Okay, where we can write it as 2AP into CB divided by A1, because CB1 equal to CB2 equal to CB. So these are all the radius of the crank. Okay, so the length of travel, or the travel of the tool, or the length of stroke will be 2AP divided by CB divided by AC, where AP equal to the length of the slotted lever, and CB is equal to the crank length, and AC is equal to the fixed length. Okay, so this is how we have to calculate the length of stroke, or um, length of stroke, or the travel of the tool. And this is another quick return motion mechanism, that is a Whitworth quick return motion mechanism. So here also we have four links. There is a link number one. So the link number one, also we are using the slotted bar. That is a link number one, and the link number two is the fixed one. Okay, in the previous case, the link number three is the fixed one, but here the link two is the fixed one. Okay, so this mechanism is also mostly used in shaping and slotting machines. Okay, so in this mechanism, the link CD, that is link number two, forming the turning pair, is fixed. Okay, here the CD makes a turning pair, and it is also a fixed one. So the link 2 corresponds to a crank in a reciprocating steam engine. So because this is this is the inversion of the single slider crank mechanism. Okay, so if you compare this mechanism with the single slider crank mechanism, so this link number 2 is corresponds, or it is similar to the reciprocating steam engine crank. Okay, so that is what said here. And the driving crank CA. So where is the driving crank? See, here you can see this one is the driving crank. So this is the driving crank CA. So which means the crank can rotate about 360 degree. So here you can see the dotted lines, the bigger circle. So this is the path of the driving crank. Okay, and the slider which is attached to the crank pin at A slides along the slotted bar. So this is the slotted bar P, and this one is this slide. Okay, this one is the slide which is attached with the crank pin, and it can slide, and also it forms a circle. Okay, and it slides along the slotted bar, which oscillates form. A name of the Whitworth mechanism.